Russia promised the world a game-changer, a fifth-generation stealth fighter that would make the F-35 look obsolete and give Moscow air superiority for decades to come. The Su-57 Felon was supposed to be Russia's answer to American air dominance. Faster, deadlier, and cheaper than anything the West could produce. But it's 2025, and while F-35s patrol the skies from Europe to the Pacific, the Su-57 is nowhere to be found. Not over Ukraine. Not exported to allies. Barely even flying in Russian airspace. This is the story of Aviation-esque's greatest disappointment, and why Russia's F-35 killer turned into a fifth-generation flop. Looking at the specifications, you'd think the Su-57 was built to dominate. According to Sukhoi's own marketing, this beast can cruise at Mach 2, that's over 1,500 miles per hour, with a combat radius of 1,200 miles. Compare that to the F-35's subsonic cruise speed, and the Russian jet should run circles around its American rival. The Su-57's twin Saturn AL-41F1 engines pump out 33,000 pounds of thrust each. That's enough raw power to climb to 65,000 feet in under 2 minutes. Higher and faster than the F-35 can dream of reaching. But here's where it gets interesting. The Su-57 wasn't just built for speed. Russia claimed it packed stealth technology that would make it invisible to enemy radar, internal weapons bays to maintain that low signature, and an advanced AESA radar system that could track multiple targets simultaneously. On paper, this was the perfect F-35 killer. Faster, higher flying, longer ranged, and supposedly just as stealthy. Russia even priced it at $35 million per unit, a fraction of the F-35's $80 million price tag. So here's the million-dollar question. If the Su-57 is so superior to the F-35, why has Russia built only 32 of them while the F-35 program has delivered over 1,000 jets to multiple nations? Why isn't the Su-57 dominating Ukrainian skies right now? And why did Russia's closest ally, India, walk away from a multi-billion-dollar partnership to develop this wonder weapon? The answer isn't what Russia wants you to hear. Progressive Problem reveals the stealth that isn't there. Let's start with the Su-57's biggest lie. Its stealth capabilities. According to aviation expert Carlo Kopp, the Su-57's radar cross-section is roughly 10 times larger than the F-35's. That means while an F-35 appears on radar as a small bird, the Su-57 shows up like a commercial airliner. The problem? Russia took shortcuts. Instead of designing a new airframe from scratch like the Americans did, they modified their existing Su-27 design. The Aviation Week analysis shows external weapons pylons, exposed engine intakes, and angular surfaces that reflect radar signals like a mirror. Piers Spray, former Pentagon analyst, puts it bluntly. The Su-57 has about as much stealth as a flying brick. The sensors that don't work. But even if the Su-57 could hide, it can't see. According to leaked Russian defense documents obtained by Frontelligence Insight, the Su-57s delivered to the Russian Air Force are missing critical targeting systems. The MPPU-50 targeting module, missing due to Western sanctions on microchips. The 101KS, an electro-optical system that allows ground targeting. Also missing, Russia's most advanced fighter jet is essentially flying blind. Military analyst Sebastian Roblin explains, it's like having a Formula One race car with a blindfold. All that speed and power means nothing if you can't see where you're going. The engine problem. Remember those powerful AL-41F1 engines we mentioned? They're not actually fifth-generation engines at all, according to Defense News. These are modified Su-35 engines, essentially 1990s technology with a fresh coat of paint. The real fifth-generation engine, the AL-51F1, was supposed to give the Su-57 supercruise capability, the ability to fly supersonic without afterburners. But that engine has been delayed until 2027, and even then, production numbers look grim. Without supercruise, the Su-57 has to light its afterburners to go supersonic, creating massive heat signatures that defeat any stealth advantage. It's like trying to sneak up on someone while carrying a flamethrower. The weapons that fall short. A fifth-generation fighter needs beyond visual range missiles to be effective. The Su-57 was supposed to carry the advanced R-77M, but according to RAND Corporation analysis, these missiles consistently underperform against Western equivalents like the AIM-120D range. The R-77M tops out at 110 kilometers. The AIM-120D can reach 180 kilometers. Accuracy. NATO trials show the American missile has a 90% hit probability compared to the R-77M's 60%. Jane's Defense Weekly puts it simply. The Su-57 brings a knife to a gunfight. The manufacturing nightmare. Perhaps most damaging of all is what Russian auditors found at the Komsomolsk-on-Amur aircraft plant in 2024. According to the leaked audit report, the facility was routinely inflating costs, mixing military and civilian contracts, and skimming millions of rubles meant for Su-57 development. The result? Jets delivered with missing components, substandard wiring, and build quality that embarrassed Russia at the 2024 Zhuhai. Chinese social media users mocked photos of exposed wiring and uneven panel gaps, calling it Russian craftsmanship at its finest. The nail in the coffin. But here's the final insult. Ukraine has already proven the Su-57 can be destroyed. Satellite imagery from June 2024 confirmed that Ukrainian drones struck and damaged at least one Su-57 at Akhtybinsk Air Base. Supposedly, 370 miles from the front lines and completely safe. If a $35 million stealth fighter QIUN even survive on the ground at a rear airbase, what chance does it have in contested airspace against F-35s and modern surface-to-air missiles? The reality check. Meanwhile, the F-35 program, despite all its criticized delays and cost overruns, has delivered real results. F-35s are flying combat missions over Syria, patrolling NATO airspace, and have been combat tested by Israeli pilots, who call it a game-changer. The numbers don't lie. Over 1,000 F-35s delivered to 18 nations versus 32 Su-57s that Russia is afraid to use in actual combat. Recent developments. Russia has finally started deploying Su-57s over Ukraine, but not in the way you'd expect. According to leaked Russian military communications analyzed by the Institute for the Study of War, these deployments follow a strict protocol. Su-57s fire standoff missiles from inside Russian airspace, then immediately return to base. It's not air superiority, it's expensive artillery. The Su-57 has become a $35 million missile truck that is too valuable and too vulnerable to actually fight. Conclusion: the Su-57 was supposed to be Russia's F-35 killer. Instead, it became aviation's most expensive admission of failure. While F-35s dominate skies from Europe to the Pacific, the Su-57 hides behind Russian borders, firing missiles from safety and praying no one gets close enough to call its bluff. Russia promised a fifth-generation fighter. They delivered a fourth-generation disappointment with a fifth-generation price tag. The F-35 might not be perfect, but at least it's real. The Su-57, it's just another reminder that in aviation, as in war, promises mean nothing without performance. Want to see what happens when real fifth-generation fighters face off against outdated opponents? Check out our analysis of how F-35s dominated in their first combat encounters. And if you want more deep dives into military technology that actually works and doesn't work, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Because in the world of military analysis, separating fact from fiction is what we do best.